Welcome back. In the previous part, we were saved by Larry Butz, and now we've got an opportunity to turn this case around and maybe find Edgeworth not guilty, but we need to show evidence that there was a gunshot before midnight, and it needs to be in our collection here of evidence, so it's like we need something that proves it before midnight. That obviously doesn't. I mean, that's 11:50 p.m. That's all I wanted, was just something that pointed to, like, the time was what I was after, because I'm pretty much understanding how this game works really now, other than the randomness of like, oh yeah, sure. Like, yeah, we lose the case, but then we don't. Right, that's the only thing I can think of that actually says something like, yeah, it shows an empty lake taking automatically on Christmas Eve at 11:50, which would match what he's saying, so... Look at this photograph. This was taken by our witness yesterday, Miss Lotta Hart, with her automatic camera. The timestamp on the photo reads December 24th, 11:50 p.m. Oh? But there's nothing on the lake in this picture, Your Honor. The real issue here is not why nothing is shown in this photograph. It is why this photograph exists at all. What do you mean? Your Honor, this photograph was taken by an automatic camera. That camera was set to go off in response to loud noises. Aha. Correct. Correct? Alright then. There was a loud noise on the lake at 11:50 p.m. Said 50, very strangely. That is why this photograph was taken. In other words, when Larry heard the gunshot, it was most certainly, definitely, 100% still Christmas Eve for sure. Indeed, it would seem that is the case. Then where does that leave us? Miss Hart testified that she heard the gunshot after midnight. Are you claiming she was mistaken? No, Your Honor. Not at all, Your Honor. It is a fact the camera also triggered at 15 minutes after midnight. Your Honor, that night there were 2 sets of gunshots with a 25-minute pause between them. Oh my, yes. Why would this be? Don't be fooled, Judge. The camera was set to respond to loud noises. Yes? There is no proof that the loud noise at 11:50 was a gunshot. Why, the witness could have sneezed, triggered the camera. No, because she actually adjusted that, we know that. Hey, my nose was clear that night, man. Clear. Well, Mr. Wright, there's no turning back now. Can you prove that a loud noise at 11:50 p.m. was indeed a gunshot? Please show the court evidence if you have any. Something that proves there was another gunshot at 11:50. Other than the picture, obviously. Found in the victim's body, ballistic weapons barrel, so it has to be the gun. Fired 3 times. Has it always said that? I really should read these things more often. Yeah, fired 3 times. That has to be it, because we know there was 2 after midnight, so where's the 3rd one? This is my evidence. The murder weapon? Something about this pistol was bothering me, Your Honor. Both of the witnesses who testified yesterday heard 2 gunshots. However, the murder weapon was fired 3 times. When, then, was the last shot fired? Only now have I realized the truth. Yeah, me and you both, mate. That 3rd shot was the shot Larry heard just before midnight. I completely didn't take in the fact there was 3 shots until now. Oh my, 3 shots, wasn't it? Order! Order! That would make sense of the evidence we've seen so far. However, this leaves me wondering exactly what did happen that night on the lake. Exactly. If this is true, there were 2 sets of gunshots separated by 25 minutes. One at 11:50, another at 15 minutes after midnight. Why, I ask you? Why? Uh-oh, I'd better think of something quick. Wait a second. Gunshots separated by 25 minutes? What's wrong, Nick? I have it! I have it! You have it? I don't. Remember the case with the steel samurai? Huh? Yeah, of course I remember. The murderer in this case had the same idea as the murderer in that case, murderer. What do you mean? Maya. Yes? If we don't figure this out now, we'll never overturn Edgeworth's guilty verdict. I've got a hunch. I'm gonna run with it. Right, I mean, is this safe? Safe? We've only got a guilty verdict. I've nothing to lose. You just watch and let me know if I say anything that sounds fishy, okay? Right, Nick. Your Honor. Yes, Mr. Wright? The testimony just now has cleared up this entire case. Oh, has it really? Oh, well. What do you mean, Mr. Wright? Tisk. So you finally realized the truth. There can be no other murderer here than Miles Edgeworth himself. On the contrary. Wrong, Mr. Von Karma. A man was shot that night, but it wasn't Edgeworth who did the shooting. Listen, rookie. Take a deep breath and consider the facts. At the time of the murder, one boat was on that lake. This was shown by the witness's photograph. The defendant, Edgeworth, and the victim, Robert Hammond, were on that boat. One gunshot. Why was there two later is the bit that gets me. There was a gunshot fired on that boat and Robert Hammond fell into the lake. The distance of the shooting was 1 meter. It couldn't have been suicide. Well, the guilty party has to be the other man on the boat. I admit it is hard to imagine any other possibility. Yes. But this assumes that the victim was shot at 15 minutes after midnight. What do you mean by that, Mr. Wright? We have photographic evidence of the time of the shooting. The timestamp on the photo says 0015, 15 minutes past midnight. But Larry heard a gunshot 25 minutes before that. Robert Hammond was killed then, 25 minutes before the shot on the lake. That's the only way that Edgeworth could be innocent. Mr. Wright, are you quite mad? Explain who the two men on the boat are. I mean... Huh. Let's think about this for a second. So assuming Hammond was already killed, and it isn't Edgeworth, it's gonna have to be someone else. So then, it's gotta be Edgeworth and the murderer. Because it can't be Hammond. That's the thing. In what we're saying right now, it cannot be Hammond. So that eliminates two of them. It only leaves the middle one. Of course, it was Edgeworth and the murderer. After the murderer killed Robert Hammond at 11:50. He assumed the guys of Mr. Hammond had met Edgeworth. Oh, that was very unprecedented. What? Are you serious? Yes, Edgeworth won't tell us why he went to the lake that night. However, I have a hunch. That night, Robert Hammond called Edgeworth to the lake. Now, Edgeworth didn't know Robert Hammond's face that well. That's why he didn't suspect anything when the murderer took Robert Hammond's place. I'm not sure what to make of all this. Ludicrous. Mr. Wright, tell us the name of the murderer then. The murderer's name? Right, it's... I don't know. Actually, I don't know the murderer's name. You don't know? Bah! Again, you waste my time. I don't know because he never told us. The murderer is the caretaker of the boat shop, that old man. Oh! That could actually make sense. At 11:50, he was the one who killed Robert Hammond. The caretaker of the boat shop? Ah, this is how the parrot knows about the DL6 incident. Where did he do this? There weren't any boats on the lake then. Why would he have to go all the way out on the lake just to shoot someone? May I suggest that the real scene of this crime was not on a boat? What? Well then, where did the murder take place? Show the judge where the murder really took place. Well, if it's gonna be him, it's gonna be here then, right? Take that! Here, of course, the boat shop where he lives. Restaurant is a restaurant, mate. That way he could meet with the victim without anyone seeing. Overruled. Do you have any proof that the boat shop was the scene of the crime? The parrot. Parrot. Recall Larry's testimony if you will. Yeah, searching. That night, he was out on the lake in a boat searching for something. He finds it and returns to the boat. Then, just as he's starting to head for home, he hears a gunshot. He heard a gunshot, Your Honor, even though he was wearing headphones at the time. In other words, the gunshot was very, very close by. And where would that be if he had just returned a boat? The boat shop. Mr. Wright, what happened that night on Gourd Lake? Please tell the court from the beginning. Yes, Your Honor. Are you sure about this? Not really. But I think if I start at the very beginning, and I take it slow, I might just be able to figure this out. That night, the caretaker of the boat shop called Robert Hammond to his shop. See, there's the parrot. This was around 11:50. That was when the gunshot that Larry heard was fired. After that, the caretaker put on Robert Hammond's coat. He became Robert Hammond. Then he got into the boat with Edgeworth and went out into the middle of the lake. Then who fired the pistol on the boat, Mr. Wright? It's not going to be Miles Edgeworth, is it? So it's the boat shop caretaker. Of course, it was the murderer who shot the pistol. He shot twice, both missed Edgeworth on purpose. Wait a minute. Yes? Why would he shoot twice if he didn't mean to hit anyone? Details. Since, make the pictures happen, he knew someone was there, to get evidence, alibis, witnesses, all that type of stuff. Know this, Mr. Wright. The moment you run out of explanations is the moment you lose. Tell us why the murderer had to fire twice. To create a witness, which was, the camera. That's the point. I believe he shot twice to create a witness, Your Honor. Create a witness? The murderer lifts his pistol and fires one shot. That ensures that anyone who heard the shot would look at the lake. Indeed, Miss Hart did exactly that after hearing the first gunshot. Yep, there you go. Next, the murderer waits a bit and fires again. Then, falls into the lake on purpose. The murderer jumps from the boat himself, leaving the pistol in the boat behind him. I see. To someone looking from the edge of the lake, it would appear that one of the men on the boat had shot the other. The murderer didn't know about the automatic camera, of course. That's why he shot twice to draw attention to the boat. So yeah, the camera was just a fluke then. Okay, right, okay. Once you realize that, everything else falls into place. The boat shop caretaker swam back to his shop. Then he put Mr. Hammond's wet coat back on the body, and threw the body into the lake. This all makes sense? This is what happened, Your Honor. These are the events that transpired that night on Gourd Lake. Bailiff, bring out the witness from before. The boat shop caretaker, quickly. Oh, quickly, yes. Very well. While we are waiting for the caretaker, I would like to ask the defendant, Miles Edgeworth, a few questions. Mr. Edgeworth, please take the stand. Mr. Edgeworth, you heard what the defense had said? Yes. Well, why did you go to the lake that night? What Wright has said was mostly correct. Astonishingly so, actually. Yes. Several days ago, I received a letter. The letter was signed Robert Hammond. He asked me to come to the boat shop by the lake at midnight on Christmas Eve. He said he had something very important to discuss with me, and it couldn't wait until after the holidays. No. Something important. I'm sorry, I can't say what it was. It's to do with the DL6 incident, clearly. Your Honor, sir. Bailiff, we are conducting a trial here. I ask that you remain quiet. The witness has disappeared. He isn't at the boat shop either. What? What should I do? Find him quickly. We cannot allow him to get away. Oh, yes, certainly. Mr. Von Karma, your witness has disappeared. A search warrant has already been issued. Goes without saying that I cannot declare a verdict on these circumstances. I will extend the trial until tomorrow, the final day allowed. I request that the police department utilize all its forces to find that witness. Am I understood? One more thing. Just who is that boat shop caretaker? I think his identity has become very important to this trial. I want him, and I want to know who he is. Very well. Court is adjourned. December 27th, 1:22 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 2. Yay, Nick, you did it! Well, we're not done yet. Yeah, well, at least we got out from under that guilty verdict. And what about Larry? That was something else. Even Von Karma didn't know what to do with his testimony. Larry really helped us out. Sure, once I sifted through his unique testimony, but he did help us, Pheonix, he did. Still, he did save us. I just wish our cases weren't so down to the wire all the time. Yeah, it's like, I literally lost that trial then. I know what you mean. Sometimes I feel like it's us on trial instead of our clients. Hey, Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth? Did you say something? Don't look so pained. I mean, it looks like you're probably going to get off the hook. You could try to smile just a little. Relax. Relax. I'm sorry, but I fear it's not over for me yet. What do you mean? Right. There's something that's been troubling me for a long time now, and I don't know whether or not to tell you. Edgeworth? No, there's so little time left. I want to tell you. Let's get it off my chest, but... I can't make up my mind. What is this about, Edgeworth? It's a nightmare I've had. A memory of a crime that I committed. A crime you committed? A memory of a moider. Oh my. To be continued pretty much straight away, because about halfway through this part, aren't we? So. December 27th, 2:11 p.m. Wright & Co. Law Offices. What was Mr. Edgeworth talking about? A memory of a crime that I committed. A memory of moider. I wonder if anybody knows what I'm referencing when I say moider instead of murder. It is a reference, by the way. Just good luck if you don't know. Good luck. Do you really think Mr. Edgeworth killed? I don't believe it. Not Edgeworth. Some painful memory has been troubling him recently. But he'd never take someone's life. Never. Nick. Yo, how's everyone doing? What do you think of my performance today? Adam swooning in the aisles. Huh? Mayor? Swooning? Me? Oh, yes. Oh, I do remember feeling faint. Right on. Tell me the truth. It was like love at first sight, right? Right, Nick? Huh? Me? Well, maybe my heart skipped a beat or two. I think you can do better than that. Come on. I save Edgeworth in there, dude. Edgy. You guys should be bowing before me. Yeah, bow before your hero. Bend the knee. I mean, look at his face. Today's trial. Oh dear. Larry, you really helped out in the trial today. I mean, he did. He's literally saved us, like I keep saying. He really did. So anyway. You did? If you weren't there, Larry, I'm sure Mr. Edgeworth would have been found guilty. But seriously, Nick. That boat shop caretaker guy is pretty suspicious. But Edgy ain't off the hook yet. Way to spoil the mood, Larry. Hey, I'm just a guy sitting in the audience, you know? But from where I was sitting, Edgy seemed pretty... edgy. I mean, can you really know he's telling the truth about that night? Nick? I don't know. But what I do know is, I'm going to believe in you two until the end. Us two? Edgeworth and who else? You mean me, right? Nah, he means me, right, Nick? Yeah, you, Larry. Not me? But why you, Larry? Huh? Actually, yeah, why me, Nick? Enough with the silent treatment. That's a bit harsh. It's alright. Edgeworth? Nick, why do you trust Mr. Edgeworth so much? I mean, he's charged. He's changed recently, true. But when we first met him, he was kind of a jerk, don't you think? We didn't know him back then. Back when he wanted to become a defense attorney. Wait, was that when you two were classmates? Yes, in grade school. They saved me. Miles and Larry. They saved me and I'll never forget it. That's why I became a defense attorney, you know? What? Hey, Larry, what's he talking about? Huh? Sorry, I kind of forgot. Okay, Nick, out of it. I'm going to hear this story today and that's final. Okay. It's kind of a long story, so hang in there. It was the very end of 3rd grade. I was on trial. A class trial. A class trial? Yes, there was this bear. It was like one side was black, one side was white. He had a normal eye, and then this demonish red eye. It was very strange. Oh, the class trial. You remember, Larry. Spring. End of 3rd grade. A kid in our class got his lunch money stolen. Lunch money? Our school was really small. Every month, kids would bring in an envelope with money for lunch from home. Oh, I see. Anyway, this kid's envelope disappeared with $38 still inside. Oh, yeah, now that you mention it, I do remember that. I could see why you'd forget, though. You were out of school that day. Anyway, the envelope had been stolen during PE class. I was coming down with a cold, so I skipped PE that day. I was the only one not in class. So they thought you did it? Yeah. Kids in class said I should be put on trial. Trial? So the next day we held a classroom trial, with me as the defendant. Still had spiky hair back then. I didn't do it! Guilty, he did it! Guilty, it was you! Thief, off with his head! You're such a meanie, no one play with him, just admit you did it, you can't hide the truth. Tell us the truth, we're not gonna play with you anymore, yeah, no boring man, alright, we get the idea. Did you rob the bank the other day? Now, Phoenix, you know you shouldn't steal people's money, it's not right. In the end, even the teacher thought I'd done it. You can go over and apologize, Phoenix. I didn't know what was happening. I was so sad, I couldn't stop crying. Everyone was staring at me like I'd done it. I tried to apologize. I went to wherever the boy whose money had been stolen was sitting. That's when it happened. He shouldn't have to apologize. The only thing that belongs in a trial is evidence. Anything else has no place. You should all be ashamed, amateurs. Miles? It wasn't you who stole my money, was it? No? Then you shouldn't apologize. Everyone's been shouting you did it, but no one has any proof. That is why, Your Honor, this boy is innocent. But Miles, it was your money that was stolen. Yeah, he did it. He's the one. I didn't do it. It wasn't me. Wait, who said that? Why don't you all just shut up? This is always how it is, everybody ganging you up and picking on one person. Just think how he feels. He said he didn't do it, so he didn't do it. Very well. I will replace the money myself. This class trial is over. That's how it happened. After that, the three of us were the best of friends. It's a beautiful story. Wow, I had no idea. Yeah, I had no idea either. I mean, I forgot. That's when I learned what it meant to be alone. Totally alone, without a friend in the world. You did a good thing, Larry. Yeah, well, I was just lucky that I took the day off from school. Larry did it. If I'd been there, they would have thought I'd done it. So I took it kind of personally, you see? When something smells, it's usually the Butz. Clearly Larry took the money. Anyway, Edgeworth and I talked after that class trial. That's when I heard his father was a defense attorney. I remember his eyes would shine when he talked about his father. I really like this CG here. It's just like, it's a little cute, edgy. Yes. I'm going to become a defense attorney just like my father. A famous defense attorney. Then, a few months later, he suddenly transferred to another school. The DL6 incident. Right. I'm not sure, but the transfer probably had to do with his father's death. That's so sad. It was several years later when I heard Edgeworth's name again. There was an article about him in the newspaper. The headline was something like, "Dark Suspicions of Demon Attorney." Fabricating evidence, manipulating testimonies, covering up facts. The article said he'd do anything to get a guilty verdict. Anything. But why? What happened? I mean, oh, thanks. That's not the Edgy I used to know at all. That's what I thought too. I tried to get in touch with him. I don't know how many times. He never replied. I guess he didn't want to see his old friends. I couldn't just drop it though. I wanted to meet him, to learn why he had become who he became. That's when I decided. Wait, you don't mean... That's why you became a defense attorney? To meet Edgeworth? If I was a defense attorney, I knew he'd have to meet me, whether he wanted to or not. In court. Edgeworth believed in me, and I believe in him. He's in pain, and no one's on his side. I'm the only one who knows the real Edgeworth. I'm the only one who can help him. Whoa, Nick! So is that why you helped me out for free? Yes. I helped you because I believed in you. Except I don't remember saying I'd do it for free. Ah, Nick. Nick! You have to save Mr. Edgeworth if it's the last thing we do, okay? Right. It very well may be. First, there's that rental boat shop caretaker. You need to find out who or what he is. What? Okay. I'd settle for who. I guess I can clean out some of this evidence I no longer need. Okay, let's go. Right, so I'm actually going to end this part here. So I feel like we're at a point now where we can actually, head off and actually do stuff and go investigate. So it's a good place to end this part. So we'll see you in the next part when we go investigate and try and find the boat guy. No, our dad. Yes, him. So see you in the next part. Fare thee well.